Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're back here on another Bitcoin video. Quick little short-term update. What's happened in the last 24 hours? I'll get right into it. Not going to waste any time. What has happened is this. We've bounced quite strongly on Bitcoin off of an uptrending yellow support line that you can see on the screen here that stems back from October 2022, acted as resistance on multiple periods of time during January all the way through to early March. And of course, now we're testing it for support, right? We came down, and this is what happened yesterday, and we've been very clear about what we think about the short term. We'll get into that in a second, but we came down. Just recapping, we came down, we tested that yellow line for support, and we were unable to break down from it. We did bounce off of a lower support zone, that lower support zone being that pink line at 26.6K. If we go to the daily chart, we zoom backwards, we can see that 26.6K, if the chart will load here, actually is a brief support zone and a brief resistance zone we found back in 2021 and 2020. And the upper level that we're looking at here, so we've got two pink lines. They form some sort of horizontal channel. As you can see, we're kind of bouncing between those two lines. One of them is 26.6K. Very brief support. Wasn't expecting it to do much, but it clearly did. And then we've also got 28.8K, around 28.8 to 28.6K. And what is that? Well, that's very clearly a very major support zone and now resistance zone, I should say. That stems all the way back here from the last bull market and circling areas in which we hold that for support on multiple occasions there. So that's a major level. In fact, it's one of the strongest resistance zones Bitcoin's faced in a very long period of time. If we look at the volume profile, for example, we can see that the historical trading volume stacks up until it comes to a peak at 28.6K. So massive level there. And so it makes sense why Bitcoin is rejecting hits, makes sense why Bitcoin's having a hard time breaking out, because that 28.6K, 28.8K level is huge. It's a huge level. And when we do get above that level, there's very little argument the bears can make for the bottom not being in once we get above that level. There's very little argument. There already is very little argument, but once we get above that, we're breaking above, as I said, we're breaking above the entire founding zone of the bull market, right? We're breaking above the foundations of the bull market. All of the moves we had in the bull market stemmed off 28.6K. So if we were to get above that in the weekly candle close, which closes in 4 days, by the way, it's very, 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 very unlikely that we would go down for new lows at any point, regardless of what happens in any sort of macro situation whatsoever. So, big stuff going on here, but so far we haven't broken out yet. Still rejecting. And I was of the opinion, and I'm still of the opinion, a few days ago, for example, I said we break below this yellow line, we're probably going to be seeing a drop downwards to the 200-week SMA. The 200-week SMA is this green line I've just brought up on the screen here. That's at about 25.5K, and the supporting zone for that would be the top of this range that we saw since June. Okay, so 25.5 to 25.2K is a major support zone. I was of the opinion that we would go down to test that level, but obviously now we've had a couple of fake outs. You can see daily candles on this yellow support line. We've dropped down below, we've had some wicks below, but ultimately that yellow support line has actually held for support. So it does throw stuff up into the mix, stuff up into the question, but I do think the TA does still indicate bearish price action. I mean, all we can really do is trust for TA, right? And the TA does suggest bearish price action. We can see volume descending very, very, very sharply in this price region. And that's not very good, of course. We've also got bearish divergence on the daily chart. I think there's a few things here that do indicate Bitcoin can go down, but I do want to also give a little reference to the fact that it's not all negative. It's not all negative, right? If we could look at this from some sort of perspective, and we could actually say that this could be some sort of bull flag formation, right? So you go upwards very fast, and then you go into a horizontal channel formation, and obviously the logical breakout of that channel formation would be to the upside as well. So you could look at this as a slightly bullish thing. I know some people are. I'm personally not in a position to make any strong predictions right now about short term. I really don't really know what's going to happen in the short term. I'm going to be honest with you, and I think that is a logical position to take, because if you don't know what's going to happen in the short term, what that means is you can turn into a breakout trader. I've been very clear in the past about the fact that I like breakout trading. I think breakout trading is the logical thing to do. And I've been very clear in the past as well that I think that even if I didn't make a prediction ever again, I'd still make money in the market, because you don't need to make predictions in ranges. You can wait for the ranges to break and react once they do. But overall, long-term predictions, I think the bottom's in. I thought that's in 16K. We bought at 18K. We bought at 21K. Average price around 19. So, the bottom's in my opinion. But in terms of short-term predictions, it's really just, it's very confusing, right? Short-term, TA is saying we go down. If we look at something like this fractal from 2019. If we go back to 2019, we can see we had a similar uptrending yellow support line to the one we do now in 2019. Once we broke that to the upside, we also broke above a major founding level of the bull market in 2018, and we skyrocketed from there. And, if we're following what we did in that 2019 fractal, we could also be skyrocketing from here. It's just very hard to say. When fractals are involved, it's very hard to say. And when major levels such as 28.6K are involved, it's hard to say as well, because you have to remember, guys, we're not seeing normal things go on for Bitcoin right now. We're seeing correlations go down to the S&P 500. We're seeing correlations go down to the DXY. And all of this is happening around the same time we're testing this major level. And, generally when you see major levels like 28.6K, you see a lot of manipulation seep into the market. And this is why I'm not willing to make any short-term price predictions at this point. If I absolutely had to make a price prediction, I'd probably say we go downwards. I'd probably say we retest that 25.5 to 25.2 level. But again, it's not a confident prediction. That's just what the TA says at this point in time. But TA is not everything, of course. And we could see something that drives us to the upside, just like we've seen this bounce. I wasn't expecting to see this bounce, not at all. It's pretty interesting seeing a bounce after what I saw as an M formation. Perhaps right now we're seeing an actual larger M formation. We do something like that. Who knows? It's very hard to say. It's all very confusing right now, unfortunately, and I hate to be the guy who tells you nothing, but there's not much clarity I can really offer at this period of time. So what I can say, though, is this. I can say this, and this might alleviate some of that uncertainty you have. I can say this. This yellow line is acting as support quite clearly. Yes, we had wicks below it, but ultimately it's still acting as support. This yellow line is acting as support, and this pink line is acting as resistance. The yellow line is moving upwards towards the pink line. Therefore, at some point, Bitcoin will have to make a decision upwards or downwards. And that point, that apex point, will be on the 27th of April. So sometime between now and the 27th of April, if we're being realistic, it's probably going to be sometime between now and like the 7th of April, the next week or two, we're going to be making a move. So this range, I know it's boring, but it will be short-lived. We will be moving out of this range very shortly. If you look at similar ranges we've had in Bitcoin's history, for example, this range over here on the move upwards is very similar. It lasted 12 days. This range over here lasted like 6 days. These ranges don't last very long. I would say that we're well and truly getting towards the end of this range, and we're well and truly preparing to see a next move on Bitcoin. As the Bollinger Bands catch up, for example, they are starting to compress. You can see the top of the band just slightly turning over now. The bottom of the band is sharply moving upwards. They will compress. That will trigger a move at some point. So the consolidation is not going to be endless. I think that it will be done within the next week, most likely. And I think that we'll either be above 28.6K on the weekly chart in 4 days, or we will be down below testing 25.5K by early April. That's my personal opinion on Bitcoin right now. As for the monthly chart, there is significant progress happening on macro, significant bullish progress. We've covered the monthly chart quite a lot in past videos, and I'll cover it again now. We've got 2 lines of the monthly chart we've deemed to be very important lines, one of which is green, and that one is 19.4K. You can see it's a very strong support line on Bitcoin. It's acted as a very strong support line on multiple occurrences. We've conquered that one. We've gotten above that one. That's good to go. We also have, this red line, and this one is over here at 23.1K, and this is a resistance line, right? It's acted as resistance on 1, 2, 3, 4 candles in the past. Right now, we're seeing a candle that we opened on top of that line, so 5 candles, bouncing quite strongly, and if we get above that line, we'll be breaking above the monthly chart resistance that we haven't been above since June 2022. So that's very good news, right? Regardless of what happens in short term, even if we go downwards, we have, gained a significant amount of bullishness on the macro. Even if we lose and go downwards in the short term, the macro is looking great. Rest assured, if you've got long-term Bitcoin bags, if you're scared about the long-term health of Bitcoin, the macro is looking excellent. It's just really the short-term people should be concerned about. And unfortunately, clarity is not easy to offer in that situation for various reasons that I've explained in this video. So without further ado, guys, let's check out a few things before we end the video. First of all, BitGet Exchange, best exchange in the market, 5 times lower fees than Binance, protection fund. They've released their reserves. Everything you need on exchange is on this exchange. I highly recommend signing up, and you can sign up using my referral link for a 15% discount on trading fees for life. So go ahead and do that if you're interested. Become a trader course. You want to learn how to trade, this is the place to do it. The link is in the description. You can read all about the course. It teaches people how to trade, teaches people everything they need to know about TA, everything they need to know about what even is cryptocurrency, what even is a financial market, everything. It's all on this website, and you can find our email address for contact down here if you have any questions or want to make a payment. And then finally, guys, we're coming towards the end of Q1. It is currently the 30th of March. and you know, Q1 is going to be ending in just a couple of days here, and that means that the season for VIP will be ending, and we'll be releasing the Q1 trading results for VIP, for the VIP group, you know, in a few days here. So go ahead and check out the description below, and you can find the group chat in which I'll post those results in. You can also find the Q4 results, and if you're interested in joining the VIP group, we trade altcoins in there sub-daily. You can trade altcoins with me there. It's on Telegram. We've got about 106 members at this point in time, and you know, it's been very profitable, and we've got proof of that. You can see the results. So go ahead and check that out as well. Without further ado, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.